G'day all and welcome to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. It's me, Piers Austin, and we're here once again with another fantastic episode for you guys. Before we get into the show, I just want to take a quick moment just to thank some of my sponsors that make this show possible every single week. My first sponsor is Signal Studios. It is a recording studio here in Sydney, Australia, run by my best mate, Rafi Tamasian. If you're a wrestler, you need some new intro music, you can hit him up. He can sort that out and ship that out to you anywhere in the world. If you need a recording studio or someplace just to come and just jam some shit out, they can hook you up down there as well if you're in Sydney. So hit up my boy Rafi. Next is Mayan Belts. So Mayan Belts are the best championship belt maker in the fucking world, ladies and gentlemen. They make the best custom championship belts. They make the best replica championship belts. If you're looking to get a belt, hit up my good buddy Eddie and Ira Williams on Facebook. A-Rock Designs, another company run by a good friend of mine and also Angels, is A-Rock Designs. A-Rock Designs is run by Ashley Rodriguez, Kevin's beautiful wife. She makes custom wrestling cups, tumblers, hoodies, T-shirts, keychains, you name it, she makes it, and she does amazing work and also does stuff that isn't necessarily wrestling related. But guys, without further ado, I am going to bring in my guest. I'm very excited because this is the first time I'm having two guests on at the same time. But ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce ECW Originals, members of the Baldies, Kingpin, Angel Medina, and Tony DeVito. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Shooting the Shit. How are we today?
Piers, what's up, man? Good to be here.
Thank you very much.
Doing all right, man.
So fucked up. Angel got the Kingpin thing, and I just got Tony DeVito. There he is.
That's the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece, Tony DeVito.
The mouthpiece. Yeah, but we all know who the Marty of the team is, so that's all right.
So who's the Marty Jannetty out of you two?
Oh, definitely him. Everybody knows. I'm the Sean of not only the Baldies, but the Carnage crew too.
So guys, let's get into it. Prior to you guys joining ECW, you guys were both trained by the well-known, the most famous Johnny Rods. Is that correct?
No, but don't ever put him in that category.
Oh, I thought he was trained by Johnny. I thought you told me he was trained by Johnny Rods.
No, Dr. D. David Schultz.
I was trained by Dr. D. He'll slap the shit out of you, Piers. Be careful, bro.
Yeah, man, and I'm definitely not going to say the F word around him or anyone else, man.
No.
How was training with Dr. Schultz back in the day, man?
It was pretty cool, man. I was like, you're just kind of in awe of the guy the whole time you're with him. So, but pretty cool.
Yeah, and what was like? How did you come to get involved with David Schultz? How did you break in with that?
So, a buddy of mine, Aaron Ferguson, we met and we loved wrestling and we talked about doing it. And he just went to a local bar one night by our house and he met another bouncer. And the bouncer was going to Doc's school. And they kind of just happened to talk about wrestling and boom, that's how it happened. So it's kind of crazy.
Were you always a fan of wrestling growing up?
Oh, yeah. Since I was about 11 years old.
Yeah, nice.
Man, and the 50s must have been awesome. Old bastard.
How long were you training roughly before you got into the business?
I trained for about a year before I actually had my first match.
Yeah, right. And what about yourself, Angel? Were you about the same time?
He's still training.
I can see I got to be on my toes with you two fellas today.
I would say, well, you know my story. I just came with Johnny Rod, so I mean that's where I got my training. So you know that story for a fact.
Yeah, so let's talk about your careers prior to ECW and prior sort of to linking up with each other and forming the Baldies. Did you guys have much of a different path before you guys got to ECW? Or were you guys sort of, bumping heads or bumping into each other on the indies on your way into ECW? How did it sort of come about that you guys met?
I can't remember. I don't remember seeing Tony on the indies. Have we met on the indies?
No, I don't think so. I think because I went to straight doing basically going to TVs right off the bat.
With Talon Stallion, right? Was he booking your things?
Who was that?
The Talon Stallion, wasn't he booking it for you? No? I can't remember.
He's a North Carolina, South Carolina dude.
Okay, never mind then.
No, Paul Roma hooked us up with that.
Okay.
That's how I got into doing TVs originally because we trained with Schultz. And it was, so it was me, Mike Bell, and a couple other dudes, and they really didn't do anything. But we trained, and Schultz couldn't get us any work. He's basically blackballed from the Stossel thing, so he couldn't really get us any work. So Roma lived locally also, and he was starting his boxing career, and he started working out at that same place. And he kind of just took over and started training us and got us on TV and all that stuff. So that's how that worked for us. That was, Paul Roma had a huge thing to do with that.
So the early stages of your career, you've gone straight into doing, doing extra work for WWE. That must
say it, motherfucker, jobber.
Hey, I have not done anything in the professional wrestling business. I have no right calling anyone a job.
Bitch, I got paid, and I was at not only WrestleMania 10 but 11, motherfucker. I got the ID in the garage to prove it.
Was it a learning experience though, like being in that backstage area so early on in your career and being exposed?
Yeah, it definitely was, because like you're around dudes that have been, first of all, they're on TV. They're the guys that we've been striving to be. So like right off the bat, I got to see that, and to see that kind of locker room environment and see those guys. So it was totally different probably than what Angel got. Like Angel probably went right into the indies, and it had to be so I did indies also, but like when they brought us into the indies, because by that time, Pete Polacco, PJ Walker, Aldo Montoya, Justin Credible, all the same in one. He came to the school I trained in also. He lived in Connecticut. He went all the way to the Hearts in Calgary to train, came home, and he didn't realize there was a wrestling school in his backyard, basically. So he came on board with us, and we all got booked together on TVs, but we did tons of indies up in, the Northeast part. We were up in Massachusetts, New England, all that area. Yeah. So I did all that with him.
And how, like, obviously, by the time you guys both broke into the business, kayfabe was pretty much very still alive and well.
Yeah.
And getting into the business was difficult. Was there ever a time for you guys where, you really had to get in there and prove yourselves before they would accept you into the training school and to be able to show you what this world is all about?
Well, yeah, I already told you the story of me getting beat up by Taz, Vito, Big Sweet Williams, known as Hugh Morris, Damian Demento. I mean, I got my ass kicked, so it made me quit. So, yeah, I mean, that was my world. I don't know how Tony,
when I went there, he had, Doc had a couple guys that he trained prior to us, and one dude was still coming around, and there was a couple guys came around in the beginning at first, and then that kind of quickly faded away. But they had been trained in the past, and I don't think they ever did anything. But the four of us. There's four of us went to school together. We just beat the shit out of each other. That's really what it turned into. So there's no veteran there that really beat us up. So we just beat each other up.
But do you think having a veteran there would have been more beneficial to your learning at the time?
Yeah.
Nope, not for me, man.
We had a guy, Chuck Sloan. He's a worker. He lives in the Carolinas somewhere too. He still works to this day.
Yeah.
But he Striker Sloan, he was back then. He was kind of the veteran, but I don't think he did anything in the business prior to just training. So I don't think he had any matches.
Wow. So he learned how to wrestle and then just started training guys straight off the bat.
Not really training us. We just worked with him. Doc trained us every week still. He definitely trained us, but that was his guy to come in and help bump us around and stuff. So.
Oh, excellent. So I just want to give a quick shout out, Kevin Rodriguez, Angel,
Who?
and my
Oh, you mean Wong Strowman?
Yeah, get these tacos, bitch.
Get these tacos, Wong Strowman.
So Kevin is our co-host of Wrestling with Tragedy. So myself and Angel, and Kevin, which we just started, but we'll cover off that a little bit later with what Angel's up to these days. But as far as like learning the business from Dr. D. Schultz, did he ever pull you guys aside and say, "Hey, listen, these are the mistakes that I made. Don't fucking make this same fucking mistake, boys. Like, don't put yourself in these situations." Or did he? Where did he stand on
that? No, I think he believed. What you saw on the behind, Dark Side of the Ring episode of him, that was him, man. That's how he was. That's how he spoke to us. I've heard that story many times that he's told about him and Hogan and Vince and all that in that day. And that was Doc, man. You got whatever you see is what you get with him. That's it.
Yep, that's the same with DeVito. No, I'll tell you a good. No, I'll tell you a good story about DeVito. One time, I could close my eyes, man. We're in Wisconsin. Oh yeah, you were sitting next to me. We're in Wisconsin. We're at the Raven Theater when we did a show, and DeVito. I'm driving. DeVito's next to me, and we pull out a light, and this black dude goes, "Hey man, do you got any spare change?" And I look at DeVito, and DeVito looks past me and goes, "What you say, nigga?"
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. And I looked at you, and then the guy broke, like, he's homeless. All of a sudden, he started speaking perfect English. Excuse me? And he goes, what nigga? And the guy just stood there with shock on his face. And I was down, and I just drove off like, oh, shit, dude, he gonna get us killed. He goes, fuck him. Fuck that motherfucker. Stop begging.
Stop begging. Get a job, bitch.
Nah, but DeVito, like I'm just saying, I mean, we joke around a lot. I know I say all these stories, but we just crack up, man. We just do things to get a rise out of people. It's just for fun and shits and giggles. So we just wanted to. It's all good times, man.
So one of the things Angel asked me to ask you about was the flaming table spot. So I want to know how come you didn't go through that flaming table, and what was the conversation that you had with
I don't know why the fuck I wanted to go through it, and I don't know why Tommy Dreamer said Angel had to take it. So I think
negative, bitch.
I think Angel had heat with Dreamer. That's what I'm
No. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we're sitting at the table with Paul, Tommy, and you said you said, hey, I should go through the table. And then Tommy's like, well, it makes sense if Angel goes through the table, and because he threw Balls Mahoney through the table at the last show, the TV taping.
Right.
And then I said, and you said, oh yeah, man, yeah, that makes sense, Tommy. And I looked at you, I'm like, this motherfucker. And then I said, well, sure, man. Why two DeVito should get cremated in 1 week? You don't remember that?
He did say that. That I remember. He's an asshole. Because my father had just passed away. This guy's a piece of shit.
But I love him. Hey, I showed up at the funeral with Gimmick too. He yelled at me with the fat rat. He remembers.
You know what? One thing I've learned with being friends with
Angel. Wait a minute, Piers. Only Angel has ever brought a rat to a fucking funeral. Fucking asshole.
Hold on a second. Why would you bring a ring rat to a funeral, bro?
Why not?
Because I showed up. I remember I showed up with this Adidas button-down shirt with the stripes on them.
Yeah,
the Baldies colors, and I showed up with this rat, and he's like, "Really? You showed up in Baldies colors, and you bring this fucking fat rat to my dad's funeral?"
Yeah, but you know what? He would have appreciated it, I think. So they're all good.
So you turned up in Gimmick.
Yeah, in Gimmick. Yeah, he was in Gimmick.
The only thing you could have done better is like turned up and just like, I don't know, cut a promo halfway through the funeral service, Angel.
Oh God, King of the Streets.
Yeah, it's better than Balls Mahoney dropping elbows on Candido. Supposedly,
I wasn't at that one.
That's the thing, man. Since I've been friends with Angel, you just never expect what's going to come out of your mouth next.
No, but DeVito's the same way. And the thing is like this. If I die, I mean, we joke around if I died, like if somebody died between one of our friends, me and DeVito will either call each other, "You next, bitch. You next."
Yeah.
We joke around like that. But I remember one time when Mike Bell passed away, and I couldn't go to the funeral, and he was cremated. I think, yeah. And was he cremated?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called DeVito, "Hey man, how was the funeral?" He goes, "Bro, this is the biggest house he ever drew." And I'm like,
one of my best friends.
And he was a good friend, man, but he would appreciate the joke. I was like, he goes, "This is the biggest house he ever drew."
But
I love that dude.
As well, you like in that sort of situation when you've lost someone close to you, having that sort of humor about it, that they would appreciate that joke. It's important to have, man, because those times are hard. It's not an easy thing to go through.
Well, I think that's the way to get through something like that. You got to laugh. You got to, you got to remember the good times too.
No, I'm just saying, like the same thing. It's just that, I mean, if I die tomorrow, I don't want DeVito showing up at my funeral. Oh, he was a good man. I want to be like, serves you right. I want him to look at me, serves you right, nigga.
That rat.
You should have got on a diet. Some shit like that.
I told you not to put it in her. You ever tell him about the time I fucking hit the chick when you were getting blown and I fucking caned that bitch? And you're whoa, my dick.
Please tell that story. Please tell that story.
I don't remember that, but you can tell it. I don't remember though.
I went to the ring truck and got fucking PJ's cane out.
Hold on a second. Let's go back. How did this all happen?
He wants to know the story. I don't remember. Tell it, DeVito. I believe it.
It was what's her name? Big Hoss and Little Joe. It was these
Big
rats were everywhere. They banged everyone.
Undertaker. Anyway, Bradshaw.
I'm not naming.
I remember. I don't give a fuck.
These bitches fought. I mean, whoever was in town, they followed that fed around town. But anyway, he was with fucking Big Hoss that night. And I don't know. I was in the room. He's fucking whatever. I go down to the ring truck. I get the kendo stick out. And I come back up. She's sucking his dick. And I just start fucking beating her with it. And he's like, whoa. My dick's in her mouth. She's fighting off. I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Is she freaking out?
Her ass,
no, dude.
She loved it.
She was I don't know. I can't even describe it. It was a different. I don't know. I'm stuttering because I can't describe this situation.
He was in love with her. He was in love with her.
Fuck you. I never romance a rat.
That's true. You didn't build fences like fucking Vito does.
All right. So you know what? On rats, what is the funniest rat story involving the Baldies?
Involving who?
The Baldies.
You know what? Let's not even say that. What's the funniest rat story that you guys have seen in a locker room?
The Tom Marquez story when me and DeVito were going to leave the room and he hooked up with that rat and we were going to go to the liquor store and Danny and Chetty was outside and they're like, hey guys, to me and DeVito, hey, where you guys going? Oh, I think we're going to go to the liquor store. And he goes, where's Tom Marquez? And I said, well, and DeVito goes, he's upstairs with this fucking rat. And they go, let me get your key. And DeVito, I say, I don't want to give you my key. And DeVito's like, here's my key. So then they went to the room. They went to the room and I mean, everybody was outside the door and they was doing like that. 1, 2, 3. And they kicked the door in and they jumped on her on the bed while she's naked and they bouncing on. Oh, please, guys, please. She's a good girl. She's a very innocent woman. And then they hit her in the face with wet toilet paper. I mean, there's just so many, man. I mean, oh my God. I mean, each one it tops the other, Well,
I love the one where Tom Marquez pretended he was super crazy and banged a rat. That's the best one.
I don't remember.
She thought he was super crazy. He just went with it. Smartest motherfucker ever.
He's not even Mexican.
No,
he's Colombian.
Yeah, he's Colombian.
Close enough. She didn't know the difference. Did he ever come clean with her about it after?
Oh yeah, she knew later on. Yeah, she knew.
Was she pissed or not really?
She's a rat.
She became a working rat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Big Hoss and Little Joe traveled the circuit. I mean, they used to appear in places where we didn't believe it. Like, what are you doing here? Right. Oh, we came down to see the show. That's a 12-hour drive. They used to come.
Everyone in the business knows Big Hoss and Little Joe. Anyone that had a full-time job, they know those chicks.
Yeah.
A ring rat by the name of Big Hoss, that's something.
I'll tell you what, she looked like
Anna Nicole.
Anna Nicole when she was fat, though. But she was still pretty sexy, Anna Nicole, this fat bitch. She was still pretty sexy. Yeah.
Like a nice curvaceous woman. So
yeah, she kind of looked like that actually. And Little Joe was a little skinny bitch.
Now she has not Down syndrome, fucking MS.
She got a gang of kids. She's nappy headed and all dirty.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Next question, Piers.
Moving right along. So with the ring rats, like, did you find that a lot of, as you said, that a lot of them were sort of following you guys around, but like what was the reason for? Like, let's talk about rats for a bit. What are the reason that women sort of want to be around professional wrestling? Is it the celebrity status of wrestlers? Is it the fact that these guys are in fantastic shape? Like no, I mean majority of
I was in great shape.
But like, what draws these women in to want to just like randomly fuck a wrestler?
I don't really know. I think it's a little of everything. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, like the excitement of the business.
You can't say the body. You can't say it because Bossing Balls Mahoney's with some of these rats, and
look at the rats he had, though. Come on, dude.
Yeah, true.
Quality control on the rats never works out.
I mean, he can have those. They're all his. He can have them all.
But like, like a rat's really like not the best looking women. Like, are they sort of bottom of the barrel sort of chicks?
Not
like,
always, dude. Like, think about the Rockers and shit. Those dudes and the Midnights. Like all these dudes, the Rock and Roll Express. They were banging hot bitches. They weren't bottom of the barrel. These are hot bitches.
But I suppose, like, do you find like the different quality of rats, like going from say, ECW rats to WWE rats?
Well, not Big Hoss and Little Joe because they followed everyone around, so they were the
same. we no. I mean, I remember like I don't care because I'm not gonna bump into him because she was like I remember she was like Big Hoss was like don't fuck me in the ass because Bradshaw just destroyed it and I'm
Jesus.
No, Ames, do you not remember? I went to shove the little thing,
the shampoo bottle.
The shampoo bottle.
My God, gentlemen, Jesus.
You said you wanted this show.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. I just didn't realize what I got myself into here.
No, you definitely didn't.
Jesus, yeah, I'm glad I'm not on any sort of network. Otherwise, I'd be fucking shut down. But maybe I think YouTube might removing this shit after they quality control it. But so obviously, let's look at the career of you guys sort of joining up in ECW. How did the Baldies come to be? How did you guys form as a unit?
Well, we kind of we were doing our own separate stuff at that point, and just whenever they booked us on a show, we were just so happy to work the show, But I don't know, we were both doing different things. We were just our own people, our own my name, his name, and they tried to do something with me. They told me they wanted to do something one time. They wanted to do some American History X. They told me, go home and watch that. That's what we want you to be. And then they told Angel something for him to do. And then neither one of them really panned out. But what did they tell you, Angel? You said you had that too.
Well, I mean, I was just wrestling as a Spanish Angel at the time. There was, and then Paul came up to me and said, "Hey, we're thinking about bringing ICP down, and I'm thinking about using you as a bodyguard." And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm in my mind. I'm like, "ICP?" I don't think I fit that mold, but I said, "All right, man, it's cool. But yeah, we're trying to negotiate with them, but I'll keep you posted." And that was it. And that never happened. Mm-hmm. And then DeVito had to do the American History X because I remember he goes, "Get some Doc Martens shoe." And he went and bought some.
Hey, listen, Ainge could vouch for this too. I'm the first person in wrestling to do the curb stomp. Remember, I was putting his mouth on the rope and stomping.
Yeah, he was.
Way before Rollins did that shit.
Yeah, I remember that. But and then after that, I know we were in Michigan and we were in the locker room because that's when Paul and Tommy pulled me and DeVito to the side and told us, "Hey, we have this idea. You ever heard of?"
We never did anything together before any of this.
Nothing. Yeah.
Were you guys close backstage before you guys were put together?
Yeah, because we were the same.
We were on the ring crew.
They were doing the same type of thing. We had to start out the same way. We were in the same thing together. We both came from the same type of place. So I think
we had to do the ring crew
quick even beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Angel, continue, please.
Oh, so that's it. So they came to us and they say, "Have you heard of the Baldies, the Fordham Road? They were gang back in the 70s." And I didn't know who they were. And he goes, "I want to do
born and raised in fucking New York City. This fucking.
I didn't live in the Bronx, bitch." And so basically, bottom line is that he said, he wanted to do a faction. And then and I remember this to this day. I don't remember if DeVito remember. He said, "Everybody's interchangeable, but you guys won't be."
Right.
He said that we were the main core of the Baldies. Well, and I'm like, whatever.
Told us that. Dreamer told us that.
Dreamer told us that.
Too, and...
Yeah. So then it was Rob Price, because I had that match. We were beating up on Spike Dudley, which is still, I saw it on YouTube, and that's when New Jack came out, and that's, Rob Price was in the ring, and Vito and everybody, and then later on PN News joined the group, and then he faded away, and so on and so forth. So that's how we got to be the Baldies. They were just a test run.
Rod Price is the Baldy that no one never remembers. That's the funny thing.
Really? Yeah.
And where are you guys at with the previous or the other members of the Baldies today? You guys all keep in touch?
Fuck
you guys
all those motherfuckers.
Where's
the Baldies?
I do have Rob Price on my Facebook page. I mean,
I have Rob Price on Facebook.
I say what's up once in a while.
Yeah. I don't know if he knows that we were his tag team partners or not. I'm not really sure if he knows.
I don't know.
I don't think he knows.
Vic Grimes, he's on my Facebook. He's on this church motorcycle group. Ever since he fell off that scaffold, he saw God, and now he's riding for the Jack tried to kill me. DeVito's favorite person, Big Vito LaGrasso, who taught him everything he knows. He's on my Facebook. He's on my Facebook.
That's why I thought that DeVito was trained by Johnny Rod, because I remember you telling me that Vito LaGrasso trained DeVito.
No, Jesus Christ, Piers. I gotta go.
Angel put me up to it, bro. Angel put me up to it.
Of course. Of course. I mean, DeVito has it's funny. DeVito has a lot of good stories, man. I mean, I used to sit there. This is my favorite. We're at the Zuma Beach Club in Florida, and Scott Hall shows up all gimmicked, and he goes up to DeVito and he goes, "Hey, DeVito," and he kisses him on the mouth, and DeVito pushes him away. What the fuck you doing? He goes, "What? I can't kiss one of my friends a kiss on the mouth." And DeVito looked at me like, "This motherfucker just kissed me."
I said he just did. He just did.
But he hung out with everybody, man. He hung out with, he's real tight with, you know what I'm saying? He knows all those guys,
Yeah.
The Suck It story, DeVito's like, I didn't come up with it, but, he was part of that,
Yeah, because you were around a lot of these guys, obviously, as you were saying in your early years, DeVito.
He was part of the clique.
Yeah. You were around these guys, and Angels told me you obviously became tight with Sean and a couple of the other guys in WWE, but what about your time there? Obviously you created friendships and stuff like that, but what was the culture like back then in the early 90s in WWE? You hear all these stories as a fan,
right.
And as a follower of wrestler, but from the horse's mouth, from what you saw, what was it like in that backstage environment for you guys?
I didn't see the animosity at that point, and we weren't full-time guys, so I wasn't around all the time, but we were around quite often. They were doing a lot of TVs in that area. We were getting booked all the time at that point, so we were around a lot, but not on the road full-time, of course. So I never got to see any of the stuff that is talked about. They were so cool to us. They took me, Mike Bell, PJ. They took all of us under their wing. They didn't have to do that. Scott Hall, especially, and Sean Wallman, those two especially, and then Sean, of course, too. But those guys were so good to us. They didn't have to do any of that, and they did. They helped us out. They kind of gave us pointers, told us, hey, do this or do that, and that was so cool of them. So to me, those guys are fucking awesome. I don't see any of the other shit that's talked about them. Never. I've never seen it that way. I mean, were they cocky and shit? Yeah, but fuck, you're on top of the world. I'd be cocky.
Who wouldn't be? Yeah. But that's the thing. Do you think it was because you weren't under contract and you weren't
maybe
you weren't a threat to their spot?
Yeah, that's possible.
Or they didn't perceive you to be a threat at that.
Yeah, that's definitely. But I'll tell you what, if they knew you're good, they pushed for you. Dude, Scott Hall's one of the reasons why the Hardys got signed, and I've heard him say it directly. He goes, "Yeah, those Hardys, man. I told those guys to sign them." He would tell stories all the time. He's always talking that way. I've heard so much, and I totally believe that because Scott, that's the kind of guy Scott is and was and still is. I think
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you hear stories about Scott always trying to help the younger guys out and trying to bring them along. So, I think it also depends on how much committed you are to wanting to be a high level performer in professional wrestling as well, and how seriously they would see you and take that. So,
well, that's why you asked me too how I started out and what I did. I mean, I went basically right to TVs, and I did indies also, like I said, but I actually learned from those guys. I don't know if I even would have changed anything except for that, perception of, being a job guy on TV. Besides that, the learning tree was awesome. I couldn't really ask for anything more. I had so many veteran dudes that would help us out. It was awesome. I've been in a car ride with me and Shawn Michaels. He drove me home from Pennsylvania, dude. We talked the whole way about stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, DeVito got good stories. I mean, he could walk into WWE now and Vince sees him. Oh, DeVito, how you doing? When I walk through, he's like, "Hey, is that Ahmed Johnson? What
That's
the
right.
fuck?" Oh yeah, he knows Vince. I mean, not like they're buddies, but if he sees DeVito, he knows. Oh, DeVito, how you doing?
He said my name. He has said my name a ton of times. I mean, he was a fucking commentator for Raw forever.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But getting into like obviously both you guys and working as the Baldies, the infamous spot versus the Baldies versus New Jack, where Vic Grimes and Jack, had that fall and both guys got pretty banged up, from that. What was the whole reason? And the thing is as well with Vic Grimes, there's always been this massive heat and this massive shadow hanging over him and and New Jack.
He with everyone.
but did you guys find being associated? Did you find that being associated with that you were guilty by association?
No, absolutely not.
Nah. My favorite story is like we're wrestling Danny Doring, and we're wrestling Nova and Chetty, and and I'm just laughing because Vic Grimes comes to me and tags me in. As I'm going in the ring, I turn and I see him going the same side with DeVito standing on the apron, and they're arguing. Well, I see it on TV. Yeah, he's yelling at him because Vic's cool, but he's an idiot.
No, he's a stupid motherfucker. He's not cool. Piers, you don't make a fucking tag, okay, and then stand on the same side of the fucking apron as me. There's a whole other side now. I look like an idiot. Now I got to walk around the fucking pole. I'm yelling at him. I'm like, you stupid motherfucker.
And
I think that's fine.
This is the same thing he told me. I said, DeVito, what was you guys talking about when I came in the ring to fight? And he goes, that fat fuck. Who the fuck will go through the ropes and stand next to me? This unprofessional. I was dying laughing. I mean, it was always a comedy skit with those two.
Do you think it was that Vic wasn't trained properly, or do you think he just had nerves that he couldn't get over?
I'm going to tell you what. Vic Grimes is a fucking idiot. That's why
he was trained in California. I don't know who trained him.
Much. His shoot name is TJ. TJ's a great guy, but Vic Grimes a fucking moron.
Yeah, he just couldn't pick up the wrestling side of things.
He's a fucking idiot.
How did you guys feel when obviously you heard the news of what happened between him and New Jack in XPW in California, where he got tased and thrown off the?
I know
what
he's going to say.
Were you guys I mean, obviously, you're saying he's a fucking idiot, and we've all got friends that can be fucking idiots. But
I know what
at the end of the day, they're still your friend. Is he someone that you were concerned about when you heard that news of what happened?
No, he should have died. Fuck him. No, I'm just fucking around. When I heard about it, I was just like, why the fuck would you even go up there with him? I would never have fucking done that. This is why I say he's an idiot, because he knew he had fucking heat with Jack. Jack would tell him all the time, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah, I mean, and you
up there with the guy.
And the stories I already told you. I mean, all the time. I mean, the spot where Jack, that Connecticut show, I told DeVito, because we were supposed to get those flat wood planks to put on top of those things, and they couldn't get it in time from Staples. They couldn't find a place, and I said, I ain't doing it. And Vic Grimes, I'll do it. And I said, DeVito, I ain't doing that shit. And he said, fuck him. Let him do it. Fuck him. Hope he dies.
Jesus.
It'd be great for TV.
It was the right choice, right? It was the right choice.
Oh, fuck yeah. I would have killed. Yeah.
But like, it just sounds like you guys were so frustrated with Vito at that point in time. Did you guys ever think about going to Paul or Tommy and just saying, hey, man, can we get this guy away from us?
That would be. I just was entertained. I always love seeing Vito and DeVito argue. I even instigated most of the time.
Are we talking about Grimes?
Yeah. And Grimes.
So I mean Grimes. No, I mean Grimes. Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, DeVito used to. Good.
I liked him as part of the team, though. You know what I'm saying? I liked him as part of us. but he was just a
Yeah.
fucking idiot. So, but
And
I
he
liked
was-
it because he would do stupid shit. So we didn't have to do stupid shit. He could do it.
But did you ever
And he-
try and talk to him and try and say, man,
He's
like,
real. He's
think,
real
bro.
sensitive. He was real sensitive.
I yelled at him many times. Yeah, many fucking
He's
times.
real sensitive. I remember DeVito one time he took his shirt off and he goes, "Holy shit, do your titties go all the way to the back?" Because that's how he got the name Mud Flaps. Because his tits, he had the Abdullah the Butcher titties going in the back of his, and he would sit there, man. You guys are fucked up.
Yeah,
You know, he was very. I mean, I used to gig on him, and one time I was shaving, and he goes, "Hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom." Dude, I don't like people bothering me in the toilet. Come on, please, man, please. Fuck, get in here. So he gets in, and he's pissing, and I'm shaving, got all the lather on, and I look over and I go, "Dude, ain't you supposed to be sitting down with that little dick?" All right, we gave him a complex,
You're such a dick, Angel.
but he didn't survive he never survived in WWE.
He was a nice guy, but once you brought him to a wrestling locker room, he's a fucking moron.
That's why he ended up from WWE.
Is it just
He was a
couldn't-
loner?
But is it just because he couldn't pick up the locker room etiquette and how to talk with others? And it sounds like it sounds like a communication issue, bad communicator.
Yeah.
The problem was he was known as Kilo in WWF, and he had the same problems up there because he just told. I remember when he showed up to the ECW arena and when he introduced himself to us, and we started talking. I mean, DeVito was always next to me sometimes, and he was just like, "Yeah, you know, things didn't work out. You know, I just couldn't get along with the locker room." And I'm like, "All right, whatever," you know. And you know, he was not that smart, man. I don't know what the hell he did up there, but he got booted. You know, he started losing his hair because he had to bleach his hair white, and then he was going bald.
I think it was Mordecai. He did the Mordecai gimmick or something.
It was supposed to be Kilo.
Yeah, Kilo.
Oh no, I'm thinking Mordecai something. Yeah, no, that's right. I remember.
Kilo.
Yeah, that's right. He was supposed to do like a drug dealer gimmick, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they just liked him because he did all those crazy spots with the chairs and killing himself. And he was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to do this. Fuck it, do it.
Well,
make us look good."
They gave him a job because they gave that other dude a job that he had a tryout with. The other California dudes, like they all came from that same Garage Wars Federation, whatever the fuck.
Was Cena and Mike Bell was there too.
Well, Cena didn't do Garage Wars in that. That was different. That wasn't the same one. That dude died. That promoter died. What was Roland Alexander?
I can't remember.
Like Jersey, not Jersey, or
No, it was California. I forget what he called his thing, but they did this. They had this little garage warehouse space they rented, and it was Garage Wars. That's what they fucking called the shows. And that they all came from that group. I can't remember what's his name. The little hardcore Holly dude. What was the fuck's his name?
Crash.
The short one.
Crash Holly.
Crash Holly. He came from there. They had the tryouts together. That they both got hired at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
yeah. They came from the same place. Him, them. I think Spike might have went there too at one point. He was somewhere in California, Spike. I don't remember where though.
Yeah, I think he drove all the way to the ECW arena.
Yeah.
To you know,
I came from the West Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, Spike trained out in Cali. Yeah.
Now he sells insurance.
Yeah, he sells insurance. He's a smart motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, he definitely comes across that way. Like I've seen interviews with him. He's very well spoken, very well educated.
Not the time he was, but
the funny thing about Spike, right? Spike would go out, do all this shit, bloodied up, fucking acting like crazy. He comes back, sits in the locker room, he crosses legs, and just chill.
Yeah.
You know?
No, the only time, remember when we were in that Ramada Inn in Atlanta, he gigged himself in the elevator and he laid in the elevator. The elevator's doors open, he's laying there all gigged up. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I heard this story. He's a good dude, though. Spike is a good dude.
Dungeon? Was that the dungeon?
No, that was at the Ramada Hotel in Atlanta.
Yeah, the dungeon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't remember.
Yeah.
But the Waffle House,
with all the vampires that time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
The fucking dungeon, son, with the fucking Waffle House in the fucking park.
Yeah, in the front. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shaggy and Scooby cooking up for you. This fucking dirty white trash. It was great. That was the filthiest Waffle House ever, but it was so good.
Good. I love Waffle House.
That was so good.
I'd never been to one. We don't have that here in Australia. So
are you ribbing me?
No, bro. No, I'm straight shooting with you, brother.
He has to try Waffle House, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
when I come to the States, that's one place we got to go.
Jason Knight introduced me to Waffle House when we went to DeVito was there. I think when we went to Kissimmee, Florida for the pay-per-view. And I flew down, and then anyway, but he was like, "Hey man, if you're a wrestler, you have to eat at a Waffle House," and that's how I got stuck in Waffle House.
So when Vito went to WCW, was there any talk of the rest of the team or the rest of the Baldies going over to WCW?
No.
Honestly, me and Ainge didn't want to go nowhere. We were perfectly happy, right? We're getting our fucking shot. We're getting an opportunity. We were good.
Yeah.
Did you look at it like if you went to WCW, you'd be booked a different way, or made or given a ridiculous gimmick? Was that a fear?
I don't think it never crossed my mind. I was happy in ECW. That's where I wanted to be at that point, at least.
Yeah, and that never came across my mind. I mean, Vito left. He was like, "Hey guys, I got this deal," and I'm like, "Hey man, go for it, man. If it's going to pay you more."
Anything.
I remember he told me. And then he told Paul, and Paul's like, "Hey man, I can't pay you what I can't pay you what they could pay you. You need to go." And then he went. Paul couldn't match. Don't let the door
hit you in the ass, you dress wearing motherfucker.
Man, I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of this one. I know my show's uncensored, but come on, boys. No, I'm kidding. But
tell DeVito, ask DeVito about the Suck It story.
Yeah, so tell me about the Suck It story. So he said
I always fuck it up.
So there was another guy we used to travel with, and he lived in Connecticut, and his name was Nick Barbary. And Nick Barbary did some jobs there too. Did the enhancement talent work. Sorry, and he was part of our group. But he used to always say it, suck it, and he didn't do the hand motions or nothing, but he always said it. And he would fucking tell, like I said, we all hung out with Scott and Sean and all them, so he would tell them to suck it. And fucking, it's just funny because, and listen, I don't know if they got it from that or not, but whatever years later, boom, all of a sudden, suck it becomes this huge fucking phrase. And this dude used to walk around the locker room saying it all the time.
Yeah, it's the same thing when H.G. Loke used to go. I mean, and I'm bringing up, and I know Loke, you're watching, fuck you. But the thing is, he used to go in the locker room and go, "Are you shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me?" So on TV, I'm stealing that. So on TV, I cut a promo. "Are you shitting me?" And I look, and you can see him in the curtain, like, "You motherfucker!" Because that's one thing infringement.
I gotta tell you though, Angels, "Are you shitting me?" is way better than Loke's. Way better.
But it's funny. You don't want to do your best. I mean, you know how it is, DeVito. DeVito will tell you, like, "Yo, don't do your best shit when you try out for someone and you do all this crazy shit. They'll steal it from you.
Get stolen."
Yeah, you're not. If you're nobody and you do something awesome, they're gonna be, "I'm taking that."
Dude, think about this. We used to get tapes from indie guys all the time. We'd watch the fucking tapes just to see if they did any cool moves, and you steal them.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
I mean, it's like, I think in wrestling, everyone's done everything, and everything gets recycled, multiple times. It's like original ideas are very far and few between. But DeVito, serious question. This is something both me and Kevin have been wanting to ask you for a very long time. Has Angel always been this annoying, or is it just something that's happened with his old age?
No, he's always been an asshole.
Yeah,
but I love him. Yeah, I love him.
Absolutely, man. He's just one of those guys. You can't help but love him.
Right. Right. That's just the way it is.
So obviously, we're looking at ECW and the final stages of ECW. When ECW shut down, were you guys trying to do as many bookings together as possible to try and keep the Baldies name alive, or was it pretty much like, okay, we're done here, it's time to go our separate ways?
Well, I know we definitely did some here and there, but it's so hard to get booked as a tag team. And honestly, we were getting booked at a pretty good price at that time. So for two of us to go around and try to get booked for the price we wanted, that's definitely hard, as a tag team. But we did do a bunch together. But a lot of times we did a lot of single stuff. You kind of just got what you got and you did it.
Yeah. And DeVito, you went on to Ring of Honor, to form the Carnage crew.
Former world tag team champions. Thank you very much.
That's it. Former Ring of Honor tag team champion himself. But how did you get in contact with Ring of Honor and start that relationship and start working with them?
So Loke did the very first show, and he was like, he was still, I think they came out and he did the Extreme Official thing, and I don't know, whatever the fuck happened, something happened, and he got in an altercation with guys, and he brought a partner in, and his partner was a guy that I trained. So they did a match, and Gabe went up to him and said, "That dude is never coming back here again." And he goes, who can we bring in to be your partner? And right away, Loke said, "Let's bring DeVito in." And Gabe's like, "Yes, we're bringing him in." And that was it. And Gabe called me, and I think I was on the third ever show on to whatever year we stopped going. So that's how that came about. And the very first match I wrestled, it was me and Loke. I'll tell this story real quick. They threw me to the outside. We're fighting, and somebody yells at me, "Hey, DeVito, it could have been worse. They could have paired you with Angel again." And I said, "Yeah, you're right."
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Like bastard.
It is true. It is fucking true.
So, Angel, what about you? Like near the end of ECW, where did your career sort of lead you down the path? Were you doing many indie bookings? Because I know that you went into law enforcement.
No, before that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but for our listeners that don't know, can you just tell us where your sort of where your path took after ECW?
Well, I ended up in Puerto Rico with Victor Quinones because I was working at Baldies Total Fitness. That's a fitness club.
You wouldn't book the white boy, though. They wouldn't bring the white boy over.
They don't bring the El Gringo down to Puerto Rico. And DeVito, I mean, and the thing is, I don't remember how I ended up down. I'm not saying how I ended up down there, but I think, like DeVito said, it was hard to book, tag teams, and I just kept nagging, basically calling Victor all the time, like, "Hey man, can you bring me down? Can you bring me down?" And basically, I ended up down there, which was a mistake. Fuck Dutch. But anyway, I mean, that's where I panned out from that story. So.
Yeah, and I really couldn't do Puerto Rico, to be honest with you.
Because you had kids.
It would have to be like a quick tour. I had a wife and kids. Ainge didn't have. Well, his wife left him because he's the shits.
True story. She left. She kicked me out.
He had nothing, so he was able to go. Like, that was awesome for him. I wish I could have done that, but I had to take care of the family. So that's the main reason I never went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The tours down there were pretty long, and you were living down there for a while, weren't you, Angel?
Yeah, I was living in Puerto Rico for like months and stuff like that. It was a good experience. I loved working down there. I mean, there's a different style. It's old school mentality. I mean, it could have led to something bigger and better at the time, but then September 11th happened and the whole world went to shit.
Yeah, I think we could have done good there as a tag if I wasn't locked down with these wife and kids. God damn it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Obviously, when you got a wife and kids, and in professional wrestling, there's so much traveling involved. But for you to sit there and go, you know what? At this time, I need to focus my energy at home as opposed to going and living in Puerto Rico. As a father myself, I can understand that.
Yeah,
and I don't think
after ECW died, it was time to I had to get something else to support the family. I don't think I could rely on it anymore. And some guys did, and some guys fucking did great with it, But
and the funny thing is that I remember speaking to DeVito when I was in Puerto Rico, and I'm like, dude, because Carlos wasn't paying, and then I'm not saying Victor wasn't paying me, but it was not like, what I'm saying? It was like, I'll pay you next week, or I'll pay you in 3 days, nothing negative, but I said, oh man, I don't want to go through this shit again. So I was kind of bitter. So I know if DeVito would have went and he would like, I ain't dealing with this shit. I already went through this with ECW. Fuck you, and I'm out.
Well, you know what? You mentioned that about the ECW, about ECW and the pays being late, checks bouncing. Is that something that both of you guys experienced in your time in ECW?
Oh yeah, we were pissed.
Together when we were a team, when we weren't a team. When the very first check I got bounced, the very first one.
Really? We drove all the way. We drove to his bank because somebody said cash it at his bank. Yeah, because if you cash it at your bank and if it bounces, you get hit with the fees. So if you take it to his bank and cash it at his bank, then he gets the penalty. Yeah. So we had to drive.
Went through. When you went to his bank, it always went through.
So we had to go all the way. I mean, it was like how long a drive? Maybe like an hour.
Well, for me, it wasn't bad. There was one not too far from where I lived, but for you, it was different.
Yeah, it was a trip to go cash a check.
Yeah, I drove like 30 minutes to the bank. Something
And
like
they
that.
would say, get there early, man. Get there Monday morning because if you wait, that check is gonna bounce.
But that's the thing. Like, there's stories going that not everyone had checks bouncing, and only certain guys had payment, or only some guys had payment issues. What was the reason behind it? Were they just got in quick and got their checks first, or like?
No.
Yeah, I think so. Or some guys maybe got cash at some point.
Yeah,
but that's, trust me, that's bullshit. I know PJ got checks bounced on him, so I legit know that wasn't just like, oh fuck this guy and we'll give the. He might have paid some of his top guys and made sure their checks didn't bounce. But listen, RVD quit because his check bounced.
Yeah, but I think he got paid cash at the Hammerstein Ballroom when he showed for that
when
pay-per-view.
he came back. But remember,
they paid
he
him
quit because his check bounced. So
I think Lance Storm and Mike Awesome had the same sort of thing happen. That's why they did the jump to WCW.
Yeah.
Sid
I think it was
Vicious, Tommy
2000.
Rogers.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy because like those shows in ECW, you guys weren't performing in front of nobody. People were watching it.
We had the biggest crowds at that point. That's we had a decent whatever we were getting on TNN or TN, whatever the hell station we were on, that hick network. We had decent ratings for that. We were the highest rated show they ever had on their network, which is not saying too much, but we were. But we had video games. We had dolls.
It's crazy to think that how ECW went out of it, considering like Impact is still a company and it's been around longer than what ECW was. But the quality was between night and day, and I think it really
Impact is still around.
I think so. No, it's still around, but for me as a fan, it's hard to really understand how that could be. But it comes down to who's running the business side of things. You could have great creative, but if you don't know how to run an actual business, you're going to have issues. You're going to see what happened with ECW happen. But look, we are getting close to that 1 hour mark, so we're going to play the Aussie slang game. So this is the first time I've had two guests on one show. So how we're going to do this? I'm going to throw out an Aussie slang word. I'm going to put it in a sentence. Now, if you want to answer this one, I want you to say your name and have a guess. Okay, so whoever says their name first gets to be the first person to jump in and have a crack at it. Is that cool, guys?
Guess what the word means? Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, you've got to tell me what it means. Okay. All right. So let's get started. I'm just bringing up my data, or my information. So let's go. First one goes. All right. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that bloke in Yonks.
Devito.
Yes, Devito.
Just a friend, right? Bloke friend.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him in Yonks.
Oh, Yonks?
Yeah.
Forever.
100%. 1 point to DeVito.
Fucking A.
Dumbass.
I'm not so dumb, am I, motherfucker? Looks
I was at work
this game too.
All right. I was at work the other day and took a few knocks to the noggin. What's the noggin?
Angel.
Oh,
I think that was Angel. I think that was Angel.
Slow fuck. You're noggin your head.
That's correct. I'm high as fuck and you're not, bitch.
Correct.
420,
So we're one for one.
What did he say? He got that right?
Yeah, he got that right.
This nigga smart, boss. This nigga smart.
Okay, so this is a 2-point question. Okay. Geez, the Sheilas are at it again, having a good old chin wag. Sheilas and chin wag.
DeVito.
Angel.
DeVito.
So Sheilas are girls, right?
Yep.
And what was the other one?
Chin wag.
It's when you fucking put your balls on some chick's face, right?
I'll give you 1 point. A chin wag is like what we're doing now. We're having a conversation.
You should have let me get a chance to say it.
All right. Hey, Bob, come over here and have a gander at this. A gander.
Angel.
Yes, Angel.
A look.
That's correct. Geez, Bob got drunk last night and he did a run in the nutty.
Oh, that's
What's the nutty?
Yeah, DeVito. He's also. You don't want to answer it?
I don't know it.
All
Dumb
right,
fuck.
Angel. What? Yeah.
Repeat the question again.
Geez, Bob got drunk last night, and he did a run in the nutty.
He threw up in the bathroom.
No, he did a nudie run.
Oh,
Streaking?
Yeah. All right, here's another one. You might be able to know this one. Let me grab my togs and I'll see you there. DeVito.
Bags.
No, togs are swimmers, like swimming costs, bathers.
Like a bathing suit?
Yeah, bathing suit.
You fucking guys are weird the way you talk.
Oh, mate, I'm so fucking keen to play some 2-Up on Anzac Day. What's 2-Up?
That's when you bang two bitches at once. No.
No, a game of 2-Up is played on is a game. It's only allowed to be played one day a year, and that is on Anzac Day, which is a memorial service for our veterans. It's a coin toss game, so they get like a piece of like wood like this. They'll put 2 coins down and they'll flip it up, and people bet either heads or tails, and both coins have to land either heads or tails for you to get a clear winner. So the next one.
I'm happy you asked DeVito that you explained it because he was like, is that a drug? Is that a gimmick? Is that like a Vicodins?
Did I roll it up and smoke it?
All right, so here's one. Man, that rat was so hot, I cracked a fat.
You farted on her?
Nah, that chick was so hot, by looking at her, I just cracked a fat.
Angel.
Oh, you busted a nut.
Angel.
You got wood?
100%. 1 point to Angel.
That was close. That's a half a point each.
Fuck. Me dad's at the swimming pool and he's wearing his budgie smuggler. Budgie
Angel.
smuggler. Angel.
Speedos?
Yeah. You know that one, dude. Fuck. All right.
Yeah, I see DeVito wearing it all the time when we wrestled.
You're damn right, bitch. Don't be jealous. Jerky.
All right. This is the last one. You see how legless me dad got last night? Legless. What do I mean by saying my dad got legless?
I don't fucking know.
It means my dad got drunk as fuck and he couldn't stand, so his legs were just all over the place.
Drunk as fuck. I like that.
So, guys, look, that's the Australian slang guy. I can't even speak. That's the Australian slang game, guys. You've been great, but I think Angel actually won this round. But
Of course, I'm the leader. I'm the leader of the Baldies. Of
Leave
course, I
this
gotta.
dick in your mouth, bitch.
we're just going to start wrapping things up. We'll start with DeVito and we'll go around with Kingpin. DeVito, what have you been up to lately, and where can people find you on social media?
He's homeless.
Dude, I'm on social media, but I don't have a fan friendly page. So fuck all you people that want to be my friends. Sorry.
That's all right. Kingpin, where can people find you, and what have you got coming up?
Well, I mean, you can find me on Wrestling with Tragedy with you and Wong Strowman, Kevin Rodriguez, and a weekly.
Kevin Rodriguez.
That's right. And then you can definitely catch me on Facebook at A.Medina 262, and also at Instagram A.Medina 262 as well. And also you can find me at DeVito's house when he's at work. I'm eating his food.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you said eating his food and not something else.
My fridge because he's a fat motherfucker.
Hey, I got pictures of DeVito when he was shredded. The guy was ripped, and look at him now. The guy had ripped.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on Shooting the Shit Uncensored. It has been an absolute amazing time for me to sit down with the both of you. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and please make sure to follow both these gentlemen and to keep up to date with what all they're doing. But guys, thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you next week. Say hi to your mum for me.
For sure, Marty. See you later.
Yeah, whatever.
Bye, guys.